How do you go about structuring your time as an entrepreneur with 4 businesses, a 5th one on the way? It's kind of like talking about a child. Got 4 children and another one on the way.
That's true. I kind of got 2 newborns
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
And then having, your family time
Yep.
with Jenna and Grant. And have you guys picked a name for the new little one?
We haven't.
Okay.
That is, we are a great team.
Yeah.
But we are not on the same page when it comes
names
to
are
names.
hard.
It's been
Alexa did
brutal.
not have her name until 4 days after she was born.
Uh,
They like came to us. They're like, you guys really shouldn't leave the hospital before you name your child. We're like, fine.
We're narrowing it down. We're trying. So
Yeah.
not yet. But
Yeah.
that's a really, really good question.
Right.
I
Because
mean,
then you have Young Life too, and you have given back to the community. So how do you structure your time to make sure that you're giving each and every one of those the time that they need, as well as the time that, or not giving too much time to work too?
Yeah, I needed help with that. I mean, the 2 newest businesses, not counting the third coming, prior to those, so 5, 6, 7 years ago, I got overstressed, overworked.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety came into my life, which is not something I ever had. Didn't even understand it until I had it.
Yeah.
And I had way less on my plate, way less.
Hmm.
And now I have more than ever. And I'm able to do that with some help of some mentors in my life, which has been a huge purposeful pivot for me of taking advantage of the people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gentleman named Sean Dill. He's actually here in the community. He owns the Black Diamond Club.
Okay. Yeah.
And he introduced me to a man named David Meltzer. He's a monster of a human being.
Yeah.
Dave helped me with that mentorship side. He asked me for some of the foundations in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
one of them was my faith, and the other was I've been blessed to have certain people around me in my life, like my father, my father's friends, just people in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just said, well, what are you doing about that? I was like, oh, nothing. And so it wasn't too long after that I met a man named Rick Alvis, who is the CEO of the Wheeler Mission downtown for 33 years. We just happened to sit next to each other on a plane. And before we got off, I just said, Rick, can I have 30 minutes of your time a month?
Yeah.
And so being purposeful doing that, I can learn.
That's so cool.
It's like when people write books, or people that are successful, people spend their whole life and then write a book about it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't spend 7 hours downloading all that information.
Right.
So taking advantage of people in my life. And so between Sean and Dave, one of the things they taught me was being what they call being captain of your calendar.
Hmm.
And so Dave taught me the power of non-negotiables in your life. So
Mm-hmm.
your health has to be number one, right? Because if you're not around, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Family, and whatever else that might be, and bringing all of that into my calendar.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone uses a calendar, but being purposeful on communicating with family, communicating with friends, the work I get paid to do, the work I don't get paid to do,
Right.
the things I want to do. I'm very, very purposeful on that. I mean, I maybe have 19 calendars, I think, and including family calendars.
I'm trying to think how many I have now. I got okay, 7 or 8 now. Yeah, I got to keep it to that. I don't want any more. I don't want any more calendars.
I don't want any more of them. But I have to do that and then audit that and look back and go, okay, well, what did I have on the calendar that I didn't do?
Yeah.
I didn't do that because I'm not being disciplined, being lazy, or is it because I don't actually value that as much as I think I do? That's really the only way I can do that right now to keep everything.
Do you block
on my
out
plate.
certain times for business, for
Everything.
family? Yeah.
Everything's
got its
from
own block.
Gym to family to time with my son to absolutely everything.
Yeah.
I try to, at least, and I'm only maybe 2 years into this journey and still working to do a better job of it for sure. But there are a lot of principles that you learn throughout that. And Dave, another one that he taught me was, he's like, call your mom every day for a minute. And then on Saturday, you don't feel obligated to be like, all right, well, I need to go to mom's house and spend an hour there.
Right.
And your relationships are better. And so it helps you focus on relationships as well. Because, when we get this busy, that's really easy to fall off. And
Oh, yeah.
we talked about earlier, I'm a glutton for relationships and connecting. It's a huge passion of mine. And
Yeah.
so you don't want to have people fall off in your life as you bring new people in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I found that hard. I think going into the entrepreneur side, that became easier because especially at first, you have more time,
Right.
and then it's like, okay, well, what do I do with my time to stay productive? I don't want to just sit on the couch.
Right.
I want to work out 3 hours a day, but I probably shouldn't be, because I need to be doing things that provide for my family.
What great lessons there, right?
But like when I was in corporate sales, it was hard to have. I didn't have relationships. Even my oldest, closest friends, I'd hardly talk to, because as much as I kind of wanted to, I didn't value it as much, because I only valued time that was making me money.
Right.
Or being with family, right? But even that took kind of a back seat to making money. And I think getting out of that and then going, okay, money's not going to be there for a while. It's growing these businesses, right? You're investing into them. You're only taking what you have to pay your bills.
Right.
And okay, the money's not going to be there for a while. So, but I can free up my time. Like, I can do the things I want to do with my time and still have a structured day.
Yeah.
I think we also get caught up too in sometimes being too disciplined in our calendars, but it's important to have guidelines to go by. It's also knowing that, okay, if I mess it up this day, I do have grace. Like, some days just don't go according to plan.
Yeah, you can't take yourself too seriously at the end of the day. And certainly can't let your ego get in the way.
That's tough.
I mean, that's a daily battle, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whether that's just trying to be patient or trying to be in control or wearing too many hats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you meet your wife, Jenna?
I love our story. So we both went to high school in West Lafayette, although I went to Harrison, she went to West Side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how many groomsmen of mine or bridesmaids of hers at our wedding that we knew previous to us ever meeting.
Okay.
So somehow we never met in high school. She even went down to IU. We never met down there. My favorite part of the story is that she knew who I was in high school. She doesn't like that.
That's how Monica was. Yeah, she knew who I was. I just didn't know who she was.
That's right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
We love that part secretly. Let's make sure we say it on the podcast.
Of course, right. Yeah, make that public to everybody.
And then later on in life,
Mm-hmm.
much later in life, I think I was 28, maybe, I think, when we met. And one of my sisters was living with me at the time and
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get on Match.com and try it out. And so I said, okay. And I found Jenna right away. Right after we messaged her, right after we messaged each other, we both called the same person within like 10 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
And so that that safety net was there of, how do we not know each other? I mean, I can't tell you how many of my friends said, yeah, you remember Jenna.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Never met her.
Yeah, you do. And then a lot of people are like, oh, man, you guys are going to get married.
Yeah.
So we met when we were ready to. We
Mm-hmm.
both got some phases of our life out of the way.
Yeah. Right timing. Yeah.
Yep, right timing. My sister actually found her husband the same time.
Oh, really?
They got married not too long after us. I met Jenna on June 22nd and proposed to her on October 16th.
That was quick.
Yikes. Yeah, after 2 5-year relationships in my life. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when you know. That's in my life, that's very real. So,
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when you do find the right person, you know it, and it's just us getting in our own way.